How are you?
Just make it doing that because you retired this time.
It's really
Yeah, the party.
It's really
This is a private meeting.
Well, I'm sure glad to see you here, Miss Linda. All right. Hey, Gail, how are you? Good to see you. Hey, girl. Hey. Hey. Oh, how's it going? Good to see you. Oh, hey, Jerry, how are you, man?
All right, sir.
Great. Hey, John.
Congratulations, sir.
Appreciate it. All right. That's great. How's it going?
Going great. She's doing great. Doing great.
Great. Hey, congratulations. Hey, thank you.
It's a great day.
Boy, it's neat how all these meetings going down. It's really important.
Richardson.
How you doing, man?
Real good. You've been Al. I haven't talked to you since Escalation days.
Good to see you again.
Great.
Hey, look great. How you doing, Mike? How are you, girl?
Just fine. How are you?
Good to see you.
You too. How are we doing it, huh?
I'm really doing it. Yeah, you know, time marches on, so kind of part of it. I need to.
I thought I was going to beat you out by the way you're hanging on, you know. So you finally decided to do it.
Yeah, decided, you know, I was timing in between. How are you?
Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you. Good to see you here, man.
Hey, I wouldn't miss this for you.
Hey, all right, how's it going?
I miss you.
Oh, yeah. I appreciate that.
Good stuff.
Alright, you're here. And happy, I thought about you on the 31st. Happy 31st anniversary on the 31st of March. You've been married 31 years.
We'll play World Peace again. She's all dressed up. Absolutely, got her Western outfit.
Oh, yeah.
Ready to go.
Got her all dressed up, you know. Hey, you're nice. Dave was my boss. God, Dave. How are you doing?
The Huntsville water town. 13 states, 60 officers. Recognized by Midway Park. Now West.
I just now realized who you were. Oh my gosh, I knew her. Oh, I'm out of I don't feel so bad. I kept looking at you like, you're looking familiar. Oh my gosh, 76, 77.
Dave, good to see you. You know what do I live? And Ellen Davis and Mel Bailey. And of course you know Joyce. You know Don Davis. And Marilyn Wright.
That guy talking about doing no see.
I've been down. Good to see you, Don. Hey, good. Glad you're here. Thanks for coming.
I think they're going to make our pictures.
All right.
I did, and I appreciate it. And Bernard had already called me, so I yeah, I'll cheers. That kind of went way south, didn't it? That went from about here. That's not a bad
Remember Scott?
Hi, Scott.
I see he's got a big team. We'll be on the line.
We don't live in Illinois anymore. Yeah, it's just Monday.
Because I don't have a seat. How long is your up there?
Just walked in the door. No. I've seen a lot of people
I gotta sit here.
Can I ask everybody to take a seat, please?
Oh, okay. I can still follow instructions.
Okay. My name is Dave Rickard. I'm going to be your MC for this evening. First of all, let me thank everyone for attending. I know many of you came from a long ways away to be here to celebrate this time with Al. And I think we've got a pretty fun-packed evening for you. But we're going to start out right now with a group called The Trio. Carla Burrow, Doylene Ingersoll, and Joyce Koscheski.
Al, I want to kind of turn your, where you have to partly facing them and partly facing us.
Okay, how's that?
That's good. Much better.
Well, that'll be the day when you say goodbye. That'll be the day when you make me cry. You say you're gonna leave HP, you know it's a lie. 'Cause that'll be the day when I die. Well, that'll be the day when you say goodbye. When you make me cry, you say you're gonna leave HP, you know it's a lie. 'Cause that'll be the day when I die. You said you were retired, words spread like a siren. All your friends have never caused that hurt a time or two. You'd say you were leaving and cause some grieving, and now you say that you are through. Well, that'll be the day when you say goodbye. That'll be the day when you make me cry. You say you're gonna leave HP, you know it's a lie. 'Cause that'll be the day when I die. So if you ever part, we'll miss you. You think you've sold us and you tell us boldly that, well, now today you are through. Well, that'll be the day when you say goodbye. That'll be the day when you make me cry. You say you're gonna leave HP, you know it's a lie. 'Cause that'll be the day when I die. That'll be the day. That'll be the day. That'll be the day. That'll be the day when I die.
All right, you hear that harmony? Wasn't that good?
I'm going to show you a video, reluctantly sort of, that will explain why Al has not retired all those times when he said he wanted to, and I think it'll be self-explanatory.
Al, we have to hurry up and get this recommendation form out within the next 30 minutes.
Hi, Al. Can I ask you one question?
Hi, Donna. Sure.
Well, maybe more than one. I got a lot of things here to take care of, and I've been working on these PSPs, and they're just not going well at all. I turned in 7 of them, and they trashed them.
Wow.
So I got to redo them. They're just asking so many questions.
Al, we got this emergency. I tell you what, I got 2 guys down in the parts department just quit on us. I've got 3 customer emergencies, and look at this. This new requirement right here is just not going to fit.
Yeah, but Don, that requirement goes along with these PSPs, and I gotta have Al right now tell me when he can get with me.
Well, we can't work it all at the same time.
Well, Al...
What are we going to do, Al?
Hello, Don. I need some parts over at University of North Carolina at a hot site. Everyone's already left. Well, it's only 4 o'clock. And there's no one to get the parts out? They're going to miss me around here when I'm gone. Wow. Oh, it's days like this that make retirement sound so good. If I can hurry here, I can still go fishing. Gosh, I want to get this balanced really quick and go look for a bass boat. I'm in a hurry. Oh no! How could that be? No! 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 Hi, good morning, ladies. It's a great day to be at work. Hi, good morning. What a beautiful morning outside.
Al has been with HP for 21 years, as I mentioned. Prior to that, he was in the Air Force for 21 years. Al has his lovely wife Joyce with him tonight. Son Mike in North Carolina. Actually, he's now in the Middle East flying F-15s, patrolling the no-fly zone. And a daughter, Connie, down in Houston. And Al also has 4 guitars, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right? Your children. Since joining HP, Al started as a PT6 CE. Those of you remember PT6, that was the old desktop calculator products. Soon after that became a district manager. Then he went on to manage the Dallas Field Repair Center. That's where customers ship their units in-house. And Al, in true fashion, he was always trying to get the maximum out of his employees and get the most for the buck, so he'd have Joyce come in on Saturdays and type up contracts for him. Shortly thereafter, Al became the first, one of the first BLCE managers in the company, along with John Newcomb, who's here also. Then after that, Al became area manager for the Western area in its various forms, Houston, Dallas combined, etc. And his last assignment was as the customer support manager for Convex. So he's had quite a great career at HP, all in customer support. Al's hobbies, as you probably know, are playing the guitar, cars, helping others, and going fast. Let me tell you a little bit about Al that you may not know. I'm going to share a few stories with you. When Al told me he was going to retire, one word came to mind. Again? Larry Terrell shared with me a story. Seems as though Larry went to work for Al as one of his managers back in about 1992. And one of the things that Al did when Larry came over was he got Larry aside and he said, "Larry, I'm really glad to see you're here. I got to make sure I groom you because I'm planning on retiring real soon." It was in 1992. Is that right, Al?
All right.
I don't know whether you know this about Al or not, but Al's pretty thrifty. In fact, some people call him cheap. I know Al once bought a used boat to save some money, and he got this really good deal on a used boat. Then he went down the street to his neighbor and got his neighbor to go in half with him on his used boat. He also, to give you an idea how thrifty Al is, back when Al was in Houston, he moved into this nice big house, and Al was trying to get maximum return on his dollar in his house. So he decided he has to put up a fence in his backyard. Most people go to the lumber yard, they buy all the materials and put a fence up. Not Al. Al goes and buys a used fence. Now, that wasn't so bad, except he had to deinstall the fence before he could put it up. So he and his son went and dug this fence up out of somebody's yard, came back and reinstalled it. How many of you have ever ridden in a car with Al? There's a lot more that have that aren't here tonight.
How many people read twice with him?
I've always said that being in a car with Al is like an e-ticket ride at Disneyland. Al is one of those rare people that always has to make eye contact with you. 80 miles an hour, down the road, you're in the back seat, and Al is making eye contact with you. I can remember a story one time, Bill Yo, maybe you remember Bill Yo, a lot of you. Bill and Al were going out to visit a customer, and Al was driving, Bill was navigating. So they're looking for these streets and where to turn, and finally Bill says, "We come up on this street," and he said, "That's a way up to turn," and Bill knew that it was too late for Al to make the turn, because it was going much too fast and too close to the street. So Al says, "Where?" Bill says, "Right there," thinking he'd go down and turn around. But not Al. He locks up the brakes and slides around the corner. But they weren't late. I can remember many a flight, or many a trip when I come here to Dallas to visit with Al and meet him. And I like to have a little bit of buffer time when I get to the airport. Airports are crowded, you know, and it takes a little bit of check-in time. And, you know, if Al gave me 25 minutes from the Las Colinas office till the time I got on the plane, that was a lot of generous time for Al. Whiten up the ride all the way. And then, a lot of you probably are familiar with Al's hairstyle.
I'm really working today to have it looking nice.
Back when we were all part of Southern Sales Region years ago, Colin Hardiman was the region service manager. Colin and Al had the same hairstyle. And I always felt like Colin liked you best because of that, Al.
A little identity there.
Absolutely. Last year, Al came over for a visit, and one evening I took out Al on my boat water skiing. And so we're trading signals. I'm trying to tell Al, all right, if you're going to quit, what I want you to do is tap the top of your head that says you're finished, and I'll know to stop the boat. So we're riding along, and Joyce says, Dave, I think he's finished. And Al had just got up. And I looked back, and I said, Joyce, he's not doing this. He's fixing his hair. I'm going to shift a little bit to a little more serious for this part of the discussion. When Al joined HP in 1976, shipments in the Hewlett-Packard company that year were $1,111 million. 21 years later, we're a $43 billion company. Quite a lot of growth in that time frame. How many of you have worked for Al? I've worked for Al too. Al's worked for me and I've worked for Al. And it's, I have to tell you that regardless of whether I was working for him or he was working for me, I always viewed Al to be my mentor. I'm sure a lot of you can probably relate to that. There's many a time when, you know, a butt chew never felt so good than it did from Al. You can just come out feeling good about yourself, even though when you got it, you said, you know, he just chewed me out. It felt good. I can remember back when we were all as a group in a new organization called the Western Geography. We had merged with the elite team, and Al was a new player. And we had a fellow in the group, he's here tonight, Barry Koscheski. Barry, for those of you who know him, he's sort of a, I don't believe it unless I see it. Even if I see it, I'm going to make sure it's really for real. So he had a lot of feelings about Al. He just didn't believe this guy was for real. Nobody could be this genuine and be this nice a guy and be this sincere. And I'll never forget, about 6 months later, he came with me and he says, you know, this is one time in my life I've been wrong about somebody. And he said, this guy is for real. He is, what you see is what you get with Al Koscheski. Al has an intense belief in recognizing his people and taking care of his people. A lot of times, you know, those of you who maybe are out on the firing line, you wonder what managers do sometimes. And I remember one time, many years ago, we were trying to plan an annual awards meeting. And that year we decided we wanted to take some of the admin coordinators with us. And we got into a debate with the manager at the time, who was the head guy for all the admin folks. And he really didn't want to see us take the admin people to this resort. And the issue, I won't go into all the reasons why, but we were going back and forth with this individual, trying to convince this person that it was the right thing to do. And Alan especially intentionally believed that these folks work side by side with us and they should be recognized along with everybody else. And as hard as we tried to convince this guy to let us take these admin coordinators, he just wouldn't budge. And finally, the top of Al's head gets red. It's as red as that balloon right there. He stands up from the chair, walks over to this guy, and he says, if I had that kind of an attitude, I'd put in for early retirement. And he was serious too. So. But I think that's an indication of how strongly he believes in recognizing his people. If you look at some of Al's accomplishments at HP, there are far too many to mention tonight, but I think there's a few that I'd like to highlight. One is Al always made his numbers. Always. And I can remember many a time sitting at my desk when I worked for Al, getting that phone call, how's your month, Dave? How's your month, Dave? Remember that? But he always came through, and you know, and he was always amongst the top performers when it came time for the year-end numbers to roll around. Customer satisfaction. I've never met anyone more committed to customer satisfaction than Al Koscheski. He took it personally. You know, Al wasn't one of those guys that coached you and told you how to go take care of a customer. He'd grab you by the arm and he'd say, come on, let's go out and see that customer together. We'll make sure that we take care of that customer. I mentioned he always looked out for his people. Al's one of those approachable people. I can't tell you the number of people I've seen in Al's office. How many of you have ever just felt comfortable just walking up to Al when you had a problem and asking for advice or help or coaching? I don't think all of us felt that much at ease going into anybody's office and asking those same kinds of questions that you do from Al. Really a class act. Hardworking, dedicated, honest. I mean, if Al says it, you can take it to the bank. Trustworthy, team player, dependable, committed, caring. I believe if you looked up in the dictionary the term the HP way, I think there'd be a picture of Al Koscheski in that. One thing you could always count on Al to be the example, to set the example. I can remember one time I heard Al tell somebody, why don't you be the example rather than looking around trying to find one? I I really believe that Al never looked around for an example. He always was the one out front being the example. I sent Al a message, March 31st, your last official day, just congratulating him on his time and wishing him well, telling him I was thinking about him. And I got this nice message back from him, a reply that said, Dave, you know, he said, it's like one of our founders said, Dave Packard. He said one time Dave Packard was asked what was his favorite assignment or his most remembered accomplishment. And Dave replied, it's the one yet to come. And that's how Al replied to me. He says, that's how I'm viewing this part of my next life, is my best is yet to come. This is a time of celebration and happiness. It's probably also a sad time for you. You know, you're cleaning out your desk, and I'm sure there's a lot of memories there that go on.
Hadn't started that yet. But I'm a committed.
I'm not doing this again next year. You know, as you face, though, I think a lot of the apprehension of moving ahead, you know, you should almost go back and think about many years ago when you were born, or that concept of being born. You know, you're in the womb, you're in a comfortable, safe environment. It's really a great place to be. It's all you know, right? Then you get this violent experience where you're being shoved out into the cold, cruel world, and you think, I don't like this. I'd like to go back where I am. I don't want to go out there. And after you get out there, you realize, you know, this is a pretty neat place. You get to learn a lot of stuff. And I guess what I'd like to say to you, Al, is I believe that rather than closing out or putting something behind you, I think this is, you got to think about this as being born again. You're going to experience very many positive things from here on out. There are many people that wanted to be here tonight that couldn't be here. I can't tell you the number of people that said, please tell Al for me. And I can't remember all the things they told me to say, but there were just countless. And if I had to give you as many hugs as I asked to give, I'd be hugging you for the next 2 years. And you never get to retire. It has, for me personally, and I know for many of you, been a tremendous honor and privilege to work with you, Al. But most of all, I'm going to remember the friendship, and I've got that to look forward to as well. That never goes away. I think you're going to be missed by many. I've heard many, many people say, this is one person, although we're happy to see him go for Al, we need more people like Al Koscheski in this world. Al, we wish you the greatest of happiness, and I wish you the greatest of joy in your new career. I think if you receive only a fraction of the kindness, friendship, and help that you've given to others, that you'll be the luckiest and happiest person that I know. Al, to help you celebrate and remember these last 21 years, your friends at Hewlett-Packard got together and we got something for you that we'd like to give to you, hopefully to help you remember this event in your special 21 years at HP. Please come up.
Wow.
We have here, next to you, the guitar. Many of you know Al's an avid guitar player, and many of us feel that there's no finer guitar in the world than a Martin guitar. And so we got together and we got you a Martin guitar, and what we said, we put on the case is Al Koscheski, 21 years at Hewlett-Packard and a lifetime of friends, signed the big team.
So, well, one, I want to thank everyone for coming out again, do a repeat on that. As Dave said, I was hired in 1976 by Lee R. McDonald
to come to work for HP, and the reason he was special to me is each of you are special. I'd worked for him the first time in 1958 in the Air Force, so we had maintained that relationship over the years, and he helped me get hired at HP. And so as I finished 21 and a half years, I want to look back for just a few thoughts and moments here, but I promise I'll keep it short. You know, I guess I've prepared a lifetime for this speech, so I want to take probably about 4 or 5 minutes here and hit on a few points that are really important to me and to you as we look forward. And you know, at HP, leaders and managers, regardless of what job we're trying to coach or manage, we only know we're as effective as our teams. So it's up to the leader and manager, certainly any recognition that they get, it's from the accomplishments of the team. And so it's always been the team's accomplishments, performance, image, focus, and results that I have tried to help with and not get in the way of people doing what they need to do. And I have to back up just for a moment, keep that thought in mind. You know, HP is such a healthy, great environment to work in. You know, it's a company with a simple philosophy, the HP way. And that really begins with a belief and a trust in people. Just a basic trust in people is really what the HP way is all about. And the special attributes that make us Hewlett-Packard, those are the magnets that attract and retain the best people. And it gives us individual freedom and identity, the company does, to do our job. Gives us money and tools and a budget to do our jobs. We can build relationships through the internal team here, the hey big team approach. And as you know, we've got a revitalization going on, so you're not going to get off light without looking forward a little bit with me now. A new intensity toward customer satisfaction, and we want to build relationships with customers. And we say our company is where performance is measured by results. Great products and service lead to happy customers, and happy customers lead to profit. Such a simple concept. Great products and service lead to happy customers, and happy customers lead to profit. Now, coming back, my joy and satisfaction at HP has been seeing our teams win new business, win new customers, and maintain the customer loyalty in the accounts we have through their teamwork, through your teamwork and hard work. Some of the Dallas-Houston team contributions to HP that I'll remember as long as I live. Dallas was one of the first 2 field repair centers, along with Mountain View, as Dave pointed out, to introduce this service. Mr. Customer or Miss Customer, bring your computer back into HP for repair. So Dallas, right over here on Arapahoe, and moved over to Campbell in 1980, was one of the first of 2 field repair centers at Dallas. Also, Dallas-Houston was one of the first mega areas in 1982, along with some consolidation where Dallas and Houston were put together. And that was in FY83 that actually occurred. And we called it the mega area for support. First support sales rep was named in Dallas, Texas, when Bob Floyd and the team started looking at support sales, that we needed to generate our own salespeople. As I recall, I believe Earl Myers was the first support sales rep that full-time depended on selling support. So this team, a lot of this team right here, helped generate that idea. The first field staging and integration center in 1990 in the support group. Many of this team right here helped introduce that here in Dallas. And we were a beta test for the model of 90s differentiated delivery here in Dallas. And we were the first convex HP support worldwide integration from 1996 to 1998. Throughout all these evolutionary changes, this big team, whether I call them CEO, SSO, or ACS, or HSD, or America Customer Support and Hardware, they continued to meet or exceed these targets that I would give them each year. So that was really special to me to see the team grow their own individual performance in Hewlett-Packard in customer satisfaction, in employee loyalty, revenue and profits. So looking forward now as the executive committee and our general managers mold the new rejuvenated HP, there are 3 key areas that get a lot of focus, and out of the current Measure magazine today, create a new intensity in our customer focus, improve our execution internally, in other words, the people and the tools and processes we work with, create new businesses to help us with more revenue as a $43 billion company to continue growing. So those 3 focus areas are not so different from what you have focused on here in the last 21 years with customer satisfaction, employee loyalty is measured by the surveys. Isn't it great that we work for a company that cares so much to do a survey every 2 years to find out what the issues are and how we're doing? So I wanted to kind of tie you in with the 3 things you focused on in the past, and even with the general managers and executive committee's continued focus at HP, or where we need to have the priorities. And as Dave kind of said here, and I'll just in closing here, I'm about to finish. As a mentor at HP, I've had the privilege of working in the LEAD program, the Leadership Effectiveness and Development, that many of you are familiar with. And you know, out of all of the attributes that a leader can have, you know what the mentees remember most of all about that leader? Think about it a minute. There's things like leadership, example, trust, coaching. It's encouragement. Beyond a doubt, it's encouragement. That we as the leader and managers encourage our people to keep on keeping on. It's tough out there each day. And so I want to be remembered as a mentor of people that was able to give my people that encouragement. And as our founders, Bill and Dave, would have stated, and Lou Platt repeats this, I believe my best assignment personally and my performance accomplishments are still in the future. They're still to come. And I'm not sure just what that is, in all honesty with you here tonight. I intend to take a few months off with my wife, and we'll search for that, or what that next assignment is. And I'll keep you informed through HP Friends, and hopefully I'll get some opportunity to come back and talk about this HP way that's so precious for me. For now, I want to thank you, the big team, for these past 21.5 years. And I look forward with enthusiasm to greater times. Thank you.
A customer out in Lubbock had bought a calculator, and I went out to check him out on it. And he knew I had lived in Lubbock at one time. He came back, came into work, and he said, "Dot, those people in Lubbock sure are stubborn." And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "The brochure that guy got with his calculator showed a check, and he wanted to know, where's my check?" Al tried to explain it was just a picture, no chair with the calculator. But the guy just wasn't buying that, so Al kept saying, no, there's no chair, there's no chair, there's no chair. And the guy kept saying, it's in the picture. I get the chair. So Al said, I thought I was going to have to go out and buy that man a chair.
Al was gone away from home countless times. I know you have done things like typed up contracts to help Al in his job. So you have been just such a great support system for him, and you've given so much to allow him to focus on the things he does. And for that, I know we thank you, and I know Al does as well. Okay, before we touch that guitar and try it out, we've got the trio, one last song to close things out. I hope many of you can hang around this evening because we're going to test that guitar and knock the dust off the strings afterwards.
All of your friends here agree. Best wishes for things yet to be.
Guitars, you know, have just always been the tool, you know. At HP, we talk a lot about having the right tool. You know, to go.
Come on, Al, open it.
Oh, man.
It's not a Japanese copy, Al.
It's a D41 is the model number of the tool.
Is it in tune, Dave? Oh, it's tuned.
Is it tuned?
Oh, my goodness.
Look at the bag just for you, the wood. Martin's one of the finest quality acoustical guitars, you know, somewhat similar to HP computers in quality.
Al, you don't sound like a former HP employee yet. You sound real present.
It's your chord here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of the sound that whether you're way up at this end, you know, or whether you're really down at this end. So from the bottom of my heart, I just want to thank you and the big team, Dave, for such a gift. You know, I'm certainly not worthy of it, but I've never, you know, I've never refused grace. You know.